You're listening to The Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 in Tuscaloosa.
It's the Ford SUV season sales event at your local Ford dealer. That's where you'll find great offers across the entire Ford SUV lineup, including Ford Escape, Expedition, the Built Wild Ford Bronco, and America's all-time best-selling SUV, Ford Explorer. Hurry in for amazing offers across a huge selection. This is Ford SUV season. Let's get going. Based on S&P Global Mobility 1946 through current U.S. total new cumulative registrations for all vehicles identified as SUVs.
Sports Studios in Los Angeles. Here's Eddie Garcia.
Checking Sunday's action for Week 9 in the NFL. The game of the day saw the Bills edge the Dolphins 30-27 on a last-second field goal. Buffalo's now 7-2 on the season. Matchup of the day saw the Lions beat the Packers in Green Bay 24-14. Detroit 7-1. Green Bay falls to 6-3. Falcons beat the Cowboys 27-21. Atlanta 6-3. Dallas loses the game and quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb to injury. Rams pull out a 26-20 overtime win in Seattle over the Seahawks. Ravens roll over the Broncos 41-10. Baltimore is 6-3. Washington 7-2. The Commanders win at the Giants 27-22. Sunday night it was the Vikings over the Colts 21-13. Minnesota's 6-2. Eagles are 6-2 after beating the Jaguars 28-23. Chargers down the Browns in Cleveland 27-10. Cardinals handle the Bears 29-9. Bengals rough up the Raiders 41-24. Titans in overtime get by the Patriots 20-17. And the Panthers edge the Saints 23-22.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to center and you were playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to pick it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9, 12:30 a.m. It's LSU game week, and we got a great show lined up for you. So let's make sure that we keep it rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. I want to invite you to get in on the conversation. 205-342-9904. That's the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline. 205-342-9904. Go ahead and get in on the conversation. If you happen to be tuned in on the, tuned in on Facebook on the live stream, then add your thoughts, your comments, and your suggestions, and we'll work that into the conversation as well. Once again, the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline is open for business. 205-342-9904. At Empowerment Strategy Solutions, we speak, we train, we coach. We love the opportunity to do the same for you. Go to martinhouston.org to find out more information. We'll tell you more about those specific services and what we can do for you later on in the program. Remember that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice, be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Good morning, Chase. How you doing, man?
Good morning, Martin. God bless you. It's good to hear from you. Good to see you. I'm doing okay. Daylight savings. It looks so weird right now seeing sunlight. I'm so used to just being pitch black in the parking lot, but it's good to see some skies.
That's right. It's daylight saving time, and I could use that a couple more times to get back right. But anyway, it's game week. Alabama versus LSU. I think Alabama went from the time I was born until Nick Saban became LSU's head coach without losing in Baton Rouge. Let that sink in. I think we've lost down there like twice in the last 50 years. It's just absolutely amazing when you think about how competitive this series has been or perceived to have been. And we'll talk about how big a deal, even though neither one of these teams is necessarily setting the world on fire and on top of the world in terms of rankings. Normally is when it's been a big deal, big game, it's been because they were fighting to see who was going to win the West. Well, it's not to see who's going to win the West, but it truly is an elimination game. I think the team that loses is absolutely 100% out of the college football playoffs, barring some chaos, which in this college football season, chaos is not so far-fetched. When you look at this, I'm going to read off some records, and I'm not even going to tell you who I'm saying. I'm just going to read off some records. 9-0, 8-0, 7-1, 8-1. 7-1, 8-0, 7-1, and 7-2, and 7-1, and 6-3. Now, who am I talking about? Vanderbilt, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Kansas State, Washington State, Army, Iowa State, SMU, Boise, BYU, and Indiana. All of those teams are legit college football playoff contenders. Even Vandy. Nobody's talking about this. I know Vandy has lost 3 games. But let's say, Chase, that Vandy goes on a run and wins out. Vandy would have a win against us, giving us one of our losses, and would have a win against the team that gave us our other loss. Would the college football playoffs dare put Alabama in front of Vandy if Vandy were to end up 9-3? Will a 9-3 Vandy get in?
Man.
God, college football. What are your thoughts about? Right? They would have lost to Texas. Let that sink in Missouri. That would be their 2 losses.
Yeah, and they almost beat Missouri too, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I agree.
Let that sink in. But when you look at head to head, would they leap Alabama if they were to win out because of the wins? They would have beaten us. They would have beaten Tennessee. They would have beaten South Carolina. They would have beaten LSU. Who do we need to beat to get in? LSU. You look at overall wins, Vandy with a 9-3 record. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there, man. College football is crazy. And you know what everybody said? Everybody said when we go to the playoff, 12-team playoff, it's going to kill the regular season. How wrong has that statement been?
Completely wrong.
Because right now, look at how many college football games still matter. Just think about how many games still matter. Is there anybody? Okay, Georgia's sitting there as a highest ranked team, right? But they still have to go through Ole Miss, Tennessee, and the SEC. And then they have UMass and Georgia Tech. But with the way Georgia Tech isn't a give me anymore, because you see Texas Tech upset Iowa State, who's undefeated. But here's the craziest thing. Here's the craziest thing I was sharing. I didn't verify this week, but we'll talk to Kennington Smith about this, and I love your thoughts. How high will Indiana be ranked tomorrow night? Will Indiana be number 1 or number 2? Should they be 1 or 2, Chase? I mean, what has Oregon done other than beating Ohio State that Indiana hasn't done? They're in the same conference.
That's why I love college football now.
College football. How do you have one 9-0 Big Ten team at number 1? Okay, let this sink in. And the other 9-0 Big Ten team at number 8. Explain that. How do you do that? And Oregon struggled early in the year. They struggled to win a couple games early in the year by FCS schools. Indiana has not trailed all year. Going into last week, and like I said, I don't know if they trailed or not in their shellacking win. I don't know if they trailed at all, but they won this past weekend 47-10. So if they trailed, it wasn't for long. Right. So how do you do that? Anyway, it's crazy. See, everybody's saying, what's the signature win? How do you define signature wins anymore? How do you define signature wins? What's a signature win in today's game, in today's college? That's what Curtis Moore asked. So did South Carolina get a signature win this weekend over Texas A&M, or Texas A&M was just overhyped? And LSU may not be that good. So let me see. What's Texas A&M's signature win? Because they were ranked. Everybody was talking about how good they are. They beat they beat Florida, Arkansas, Mississippi State, LSU. They lost to Notre Dame. You see what I'm saying? So we have to beating a ranked team is a signature win. Let me see what I don't know what Indiana's schedule is. All I know is they play the schedule that's in front of them. And if the Big Ten gave them a cakewalk, then it still counts, right, Chase?
Correct.
Let me see if I can pull up Indiana's schedule real quick. We got a couple callers we'll get to on the other side when we bring Kennington in. Let me see. Indiana Hoosiers beat Illinois. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Hold on. 21. There we go. All right. Let me see. They're 9-0. FIU, Western Illinois, they beat UCLA. But look at the scores. 31-7, 77-3, 42-13. They beat Charlotte 52-14. They beat Maryland 42-28. They beat Northwestern 41-24. Nebraska 56-7. Washington 31-17. And Michigan State 47-10. So all I can tell you is they're killing everybody they play. And here's the thing. They have not trailed. They haven't trailed. They haven't been behind one time all year. Does that mean anything? We'll find out. But I think if you were going into this, if you didn't pre-rank teams until now, where would Indiana be? Where would this ranking be? We're going to talk about that with Kennington Smith III on the other side. We'll talk about it with you. Yeah. Does Alabama count as a big-time win now? Do you get credit for signature wins now? So Vanderbilt should be up there higher, especially if we keep winning. And if we keep winning and Vanderbilt keeps winning, do they finally leap us? Ooh. Or do we leap Georgia, who struggled? Did anybody see Carson Beck play again? Alabama fans, I'm glad y'all aren't Georgia fans, because I know y'all would be all over Carson Beck calling for the backup. Who's the backup at Georgia? Nobody knows, because nobody's crazy enough to keep asking for the backup like Alabama fans keep asking for Ty Simpson. Ooh, I'm meddling this morning, Chase. So I'll keep meddling. I'm all over the board this morning. It's a manic Monday, but you're in. You can get in on the conversation on the Martin Houston Show, powered by Box Eye Care. We'll be back on the other side. We'll add Kennington to the conversation, and we'll work in J-Rob and Robert from Mobile, and we'll talk about it right here on your home for Alabama sports.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very good Monday morning to you. We have already got our hands full on 2059 on the northeast lanes, right around Buttermilk, or just after Buttermilk Road. You have this accident. Now, a secondary crash also at Keens Mill Road. These are both going to knock out a couple of lanes with traffic there.
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for fall. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
Call 800-8000 or visit mezwins.com. I've got this.
No representations made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Got timberland in West Alabama or East Mississippi? North River Timber Company has you covered. Since 2011, Courtney White, a registered forester, along with his expert team, have been managing timberland and harvesting timber across 4 West Alabama counties. They offer comprehensive timber management plans, reforestation services, and appraisals. Courtney White says timber is like money in the bank. Don't let your investment go unrealized.
Visit us now to save big and discover why so many are switching to BMW. BMW of Tuscaloosa. Take your dreams for a drive.
Hey, I'm Martin Houston, and I want to tell you about exciting news happening at Box Eye Care. They moved to their new location, bringing you a brand new lab, stylish new frames, and a fresh look just for you. Enjoy their expanded frame inventory, competitive prices, and faster service, all with the same great level of service you've come to know and trust. Discover this full-service eye care at Box Eye Care's new location. With their in-house lab, they offer unbeatable value and one of the largest frame collections in town. Schedule your eye exam today and walk out with new glasses in less than an hour in most cases. Visit boxeyecare.com. That's boxeyecare.com, or call 205-342-0660. That's 205-342-0660. Visit them at 5003 Oscar Baxter Drive. That's Box Eye Care. Your vision, our priority.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back in to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Xavier's out today, so I'm up here meddling with folks. Listen. You got to hate it for Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney loses a game to Louisville, a top 25 team, and lost to Georgia, a number 2 team, and he's sitting at 19. Alabama loses to the number 17 and there's Vanderbilt 24, baby. They in the poll, and they're sitting at number 11. Tell me people don't vote based on helmet or dislikes or whatever. The reality of it is, if this poll wasn't ranked at the beginning of the year, would Penn State be a great win for Ohio State? Would Ohio State be a great win for Oregon? Would Georgia be a great win for Alabama? Would Alabama be a great win for Vanderbilt or Tennessee? If you were waiting till now to rank the teams, after you've seen 8 to 9 games? How would it be? If that's the case, all I can tell you about Indiana is this, guys. I don't know how good they are. All I know is they have controlled and dominated every opponent. They were picked. I think Nebraska may have been favored, or they were favored by a touchdown. They beat them 56-7. Just let that sink. I'm just saying. I know I'm messing. Good morning, Kennington. What's up, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Hey, listen. They said that the 12-team playoff was going to ruin the regular season of college football. Huh? What? How bad did all of those pundits miss it?
Horribly, because it has made the regular season more exciting than ever. I mean, if there was still a 14 playoff, how little talking points would we have right now? What would we talk about in regards to Alabama's season right now? We'd probably be looking ahead to the offseason. We'd probably be having conversations of who's going to enter the portal the day after the SEC championship game. That's the conversations that we'll be having around Alabama football right now, and hot seat talk and recruiting and looking ahead to next year's schedule and how to fix the team and all these things. And there's going to be a great do-or-die game in Death Valley on Saturday. It's really just added so many layers to what we talk about nationally. The Group of 5 race is its own conversation in itself that wouldn't be happening right now without the 14 field. So it's created one of the most exciting regular seasons we ever had, and it's only going to get better in November.
It really is. When you look at Boise sitting at 7-1, they're going to get in unless they lose, right? They're the highest ranked Group of 5, right? You got SMU leading the ACC. You have Indiana undefeated in the Big Ten, and they're going to have to finish it out. But BYU, Indiana, all on it on. So, and then, Texas A&M is the toast of the town, and they get mud stomped by South Carolina. So it's just crazy. They had done to them what they did to LSU. I doubt they didn't practice stopping a running quarterback. They just like to use one. But anyway, what are your thoughts? We got a couple calls we're going to get in really quick, but I want to get your thoughts, since we didn't have you on last week, about Alabama's last win, and then we'll get the callers, and then we'll talk to you about LSU and this college football playoff, and we also throw in maybe a little Alabama basketball if we have time.
Yeah, really just impressed with how Alabama came out and dominated the game. I think I'm a little disappointed in some of the fan reaction where there wasn't a lot of people didn't seem too impressed with the fact that Bama beat Missouri 34-0, but they were upset that Bama lost to Vanderbilt and they barely beat South Carolina and they weren't playing to a quote-unquote standard. But then when they played to that standard, it doesn't count because Missouri had a beat-up team. Like, do you want your team to dominate or do you not want your team to dominate? Yeah, Missouri was beat up. If they had came out and gave Alabama a close game, the city would have been on fire. So the fact that they came out 134-0, you have to give them their just due. Does that mean that they're going to beat LSU? No. But it felt like the team got back on the right track. So I liked what I saw. I especially like the fact that I didn't see any receivers running wide open on the secondary, which is the first time that has happened all season long. So that was a good omen, I think. And I think, I'm liking where Alabama is sitting right now heading into LSU.
Agree. I think LSU got a lot of hype, but got exposed by what Bama does best. A running quarterback who can hit the deep ball wore LSU out with that. They'll have time to prepare for it, but I think if we have a healthy Jalen Milroe and everything's called accordingly, then I see Jalen Milroe doing some serious damage, especially if he responds the way he's responded off his last 2 bye weeks against LSU last year and against Georgia this year. Let's get to the phone lines. J-Rob, you're in with Kennington and Martin on the Empowerment Strategy and Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, fellas. How you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing?
All right. Hey, Indiana did trail. They trailed 10-0 to Michigan State, and then Indiana woke up and took care of business. I had them in the pick contest with Ryan's show, and I was keeping up closely with what they were doing. But yes, they're a dominant team of who they're playing. I don't see why they aren't given the credit they deserve. But I'm excited about this weekend. I want to know what you two guys think that we have to do to go down there and dominate this game down there in Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night, and who is going to be the star of the show? Who's going to have to have a great game for us to win? Y'all have a great day. Roll Tide.
Kennington.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just some better composure. I think the fact that going into that game against Tennessee, you saw how discombobulated the offense was on the very first series of the game. The communication wasn't right. That kind of persisted throughout the game. 15 penalties. It just was not a buttoned-up effort on the road in a hostile environment. You can make the case that Tiger Stadium is going to be an even more raucous atmosphere than Neyland Stadium. So I'm looking for the team to really be composed and to come out and put their best foot forward and establish some early momentum. And the player that I'm looking at is Elijah Pritchett. He's somebody who struggled against Tennessee. He's kind of been the one on the offensive line that has allowed the most pressures. He's kind of been the weak link on the line. They're going to have to keep Milroe upright to dominate against LSU. So I'm looking at him to have his best game of the year if Alabama wants to win.
Cool. Let's get in. Robert, you're in on the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline. We speak with Coach Train. You're in with Kennington Smith. What's up?
Oh, hey, guys. I'm glad to see how well you're enjoying yourself with all this chaos there, Martin.
Hey, Robert, gotta love it, man. Hey, but watch this. Yeah. Hey, watch this. Let me break something down for you. Nobody's talking about this. Saban is dominating college football more as a retired coach than he did before. Coaching tree. Right now with the current rankings, Oregon, Georgia, Miami, Texas, and Indiana. All 5 of those dudes are former Saban assistants. Did you realize that?
No, because we know about Georgia and Texas, but the other ones I didn't know about.
Everybody forgets about Sarkisian and Lanning, and Lanning wasn't an assistant, a direct assistant, but he got his start here. Then he went to Georgia and became what's his name, DC.
I can remember when. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I can, like you, I can remember, all the arguments. So like calling Ryan's show, and people were just, we don't need a 12-team playoff. It's always going to be the same team. It's just a participation trophy. Nobody cares about the number 18 and number 19. I kept calling and say, one of these days, it's going to be Alabama down there, and you will care about it. If it's a stagnant situation, it's never going to change. Like the old saying goes, everything regresses to the mean eventually. It takes a while. Look at the mean Patriots. It may take a while, but it'll go. It'll happen. And I kept saying, the argument was always, hey, look at the exciting season we'll have. And like you mentioned earlier, Martin, which is why we're friends, because we think alike. The argument's always the diminishing of the regular season. I kept constantly saying, you must think football, college football is basketball, as long as basketball season. It's too short. You can't diminish it because it's too short. No matter what happens, you're going to care about these games every week. And
that's right. Go ahead.
And here we are. Every week you care about them. We're still fuming over the Vanderbilt game. That was a month ago. So did we stop caring about that game? How long ago it was? And we're still figuring out, okay, if this team loses, and like your host said, the only difference between now and previous years is right now, Alabama fans will be talking about next year because this season would be over. There will be no way all those teams, 4 of those teams would lost 3 games for us to make that to make the old playoff. Now we're still talking about our chances versus next season. So it's been a win-win.
Absolutely. And hey, listen, and Kenny, I'll let you respond, but I'll say this really quick. Listen, Robert, this is what I tell people. I said the only people hating the new system of college football is Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia.
Yeah. Yes. Texas
Everybody else is living NIL and transfer portal, Kennington.
Yeah. No, I think he made a very astute point where he said, people are calling in and saying that nobody's going to care about the 9th seed or the 10th seed until your team becomes the 9th seed or the 10th seed. When those tables turn, then all of a sudden you're up at night looking at every single playoff scenario possible in which way your team can get into the field. So, it just allows for a lot more margin of error and allows for people to look at their season in a much different context. Like, you bringing up Georgia and Ohio State, they were in situations on Saturday too. If they would have lost, that would have ended their season a year ago. But, a loss on Saturday would have been bad, of course, but it wouldn't have completely ended their season. So it allows a little bit of margin of error for everybody. And I feel like teams like Bama, Georgia, Ohio State are actually huge beneficiaries of the system for that reason.
Yeah. Hey, listen, and when you look at it, the reality of it is, hey, Robert, do you have anything else before I let you go?
Oh, real quick before I go to like your previous call said, what does Alabama have to do in this game? Exactly the same thing they did against Missouri. It's wash and repeat and rinse and repeat. You do that. If you do that again for the rest of the season, we're hoisting the national championship. So that's what we need to do. Everything we did in that Missouri game, keep doing it over and over again.
Yeah. Hey, Robert, and I want to get your score, and the tiebreaker is Alabama's total yards.
Oh, let's see. I think we keep on going. So I'm going to go 30-21 Alabama. And the top, what again?
The total yards, offensive total yards.
I'm going to go 402.
Hey, Robert, and I'll point this out. You know what else this does? Is it makes you not have to be perfect out of the block.
Right.
Alabama may very well be the best team in 4 weeks. We don't know that.
Right.
But in the past, you never had a chance to find out, because college football was the only sport where you had to be perfect or near perfect to get to have a chance to win a championship. In the pros, in basketball, in everywhere else, every other sport, every other college football level, if you were playing well at the end of the year, you could win a championship. You could be playing lights out and not get in. When I everybody forgets that we won the national championship, Robert, coming off of the 11-1 season, and our one loss was week number 2. We felt like we were the best team in the country when we finished the season, but because we lost to Florida in game 1, we were out. I mean, week 2, we were out. And that's the crazy, and that's what I love about this new football playoff, is that if you get it right and you can get in, and you're playing the best at the end of the year, you have a chance. Thanks.
One more thing. I always remember our 10-6 Pittsburgh Steelers team going to the championship, winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Because they peaked at.
What about the Giants beating the perfect Patriots?
Exactly.
I mean, they were barely even made it into the playoffs. So that's what you got to be playing right. And now Alabama has a chance. They still have to win to get in, but I think if they win and end up 10-2, they'll get in. And we'll ask Kenneth his thoughts on that. Stay tuned. We'll bring you in if you want to get in on the conversation at 205-342-9904. That's Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline. Remember, Empowerment Strategies and Solutions, we speak, we train, we coach. MartinHouston.org.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Well, a very good Monday morning to you. We have already got our hands full on 2059 on the northeast lanes, right around Buttermilk, or just after Buttermilk Road. You have this accident. Now, a secondary crash also at Keens Mill Road. These are both going to knock out a couple of lanes with traffic
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for fall. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
For Alabama basketball. Presented in part by BMW of Tuscaloosa and by Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi.
Taco Casa, quality, taste, and value under the biggest cactus in town. They've been doing it the right way each and every day for 50 years and counting. If you're looking for a great option for lunch and or dinner, then you need to check out Taco Casa. Taco Casa, and while you're there, don't forget to get a big glass of that sweet tea.
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for fall. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
I'll still be making the plays, you'll be making the bets, and finally getting the sports glory you deserve. The Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. Play the game.
Dixie Battery Supply takes care of all of your battery needs. Find the commercial batteries you're after and never feel powerless again. Come check out our Northport and Tuscaloosa locations or call us at 205-758-9190. And once again, power up all your devices by using Dixie Battery Supply, DixieBatterySupply.com.
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for fall. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
See if it makes sense for your business.
Go to townsquarelocal.com for a free demo of the Townsquare Business Management Platform. Visit townsquarelocal.com. That's townsquarelocal.com.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show. With the same hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game, Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. We'd love to have you be a part of the program. You can call us on at 205-342-9904, and that's the Empowerment Strategy Solutions hotline. We speak, we train, we coach. You can put your talking points in, and we'll work them into the conversation. Going to get Kenneth's thoughts on the ranking of the what do you think is going to be tomorrow night's college football playoff rankings? Bam Bam 72 talking about he doesn't see really a big gap between 1 through 10. I don't see a gap between 1 through 17, to be honest. And I think any and all teams can beat other teams, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. Weather could play an issue this week. This upcoming weekend, does that advantage go to Bama or LSU if rain is in the forecast? So we'll talk about all of those things, and we have Pat who wants to talk about that game, LSU versus Bama in Bryant-Denny West.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, can you hear me?
You're on, Pat. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, it is Bryant-Denny West, and does history have anything to do with this game, or is this a brand new game? Hey, the LSU fans really don't believe they can win. They're going to have to be drinking all day long in order to build up any courage to even go in the gate.
Well, they'll probably take care of that side of it then, Pat.
Hey, and besides that, things could be quite a bit of a damper on it. That that storm is forecast to come just down to the bottom of the boot of LSU, of Louisiana, and it's going to. But it's supposed to be out of here by the weekend. Trouble is what's it going to do? And some forecasters got the darn thing turning around and going back into the Gulf.
That's what I'm praying for.
Right. Sir?
What else you got, man?
Wait. I want to talk about that what we got to do in order to win this ball game. In order to win this ball game, that we've got to be the offensive line, like you said, has got to keep Jalen upright. And if they can keep Jalen upright, then we're gonna put a mud hole in Louisiana down there. And that rain is just gonna help with the amount of dirt that we're gonna dig out of that stadium.
All right. Thanks, Pat. Do you have anything on that, Kennington?
Yeah, I just think, just in terms of the history aspect, I don't have as much history knowledge about this rivalry as you, obviously, but something that I point to was just a year ago, where you think about Bama being down in Tennessee at halftime, coming out and playing a great second half going into the bye week, and they come out and pop out against LSU. Kind of a similar situation. Last week against Missouri, slow first half. You're wondering what's going on at halftime. Bama comes out, dominates the second half, goes into the bye week with a lot of momentum, and now we're back at the LSU game. So I'm wondering if this team can have that same level of kind of composure and resilience to kind of bounce back from that, go into the bye week with the right mindset, and then come out and be prepared to attack the second half of the season like they did last year.
All right. Hey, thanks, Pat. What I want to do real quick, Kennington, because I want to spend the fourth quarter talking about Bama LSU specifically, and get your thoughts on Bama's first basketball game tonight. But if you look at where do you see the rankings being, tomorrow night, the first college football playoff rankings? Have you made your list yet?
Yeah, I have a list. So the top 4 seeds, this is just the Power 4 champions who are projected right now. I would have Oregon 1, Miami 2, Georgia 3, BYU 4. Then the at-large is starting at number 5, Ohio State, Indiana, Notre Dame, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Alabama, Boise State.
Yeah, and so for me, why would you not put Indiana in front of Ohio State?
Ohio State has a better win, which is Penn State.
But see, and that's what I'm saying. But if they're going to play it out, it doesn't matter, right? So why make Indiana? This is one of the things I don't like about the better win versus the not win, because I was one of those teams that in '92, Kennington. If you ever want to lie, I'm always, if a team plays and they win this late in the season. I understand if we were looking at week 3, 4. How many teams have lost to teams that they were better than this year?
A lot.
Win. I mean, everybody, right?
Yeah, I'll say a lot, more than I can count.
Right. So we're going to make Indiana, who's undefeated, prove that they're better than Ohio State when they've already proven that they've been the most consistent team other than Oregon in the Big Ten. Now, of course, Wisconsin has a better win. I don't know if you can rate better wins the way we used to. Right? I mean, beating Vanderbilt used to be a joke win.
Right.
Texas, how good Vanderbilt. You see what I'm saying? That would probably be the only thing. I would make Ohio State, even though they beat Penn State, if we were ranking it from the start of the season, yeah. But if we ranked it from now, and there was no pre-poll, where would we have Indiana? And there wasn't. The conference champions make sense.
Yeah, well, I feel like I think I have Indiana higher than what they're going to be ranked in the initial poll. I have them above Texas. I have them above, Notre Dame. I have them above Penn State. I don't know if it's going to work out like that on Tuesday. So I feel like I'm giving them a little bit more credit, obviously, just because they've been dominating every single opponent. But for me personally, the way that I look at it, I feel like the scheduling matters and who you play and when you win does matter. And Ohio State went on the road at Oregon, lost by 1, on the road at Penn State, won that game as well by double digits. So I give them a 1 spot nod ahead of Indiana. But having Indiana above all the other SEC teams, I don't think that's going to go like how I had it written on Tuesday. So I feel like I'm giving them some justice.
Oh, I agree. I think that everybody's ranking on Hellman. I think everybody, and I think you probably do have them ranked higher than what anybody else would. But to me, the Big 12, who do you have in there for the Big 12?
BYU, just because they're undefeated in the first place. But it's a one-bid league. Any of those teams could go.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm saying. Because they're right. And right now, the team that's most likely in the best position for a Big 12 championship is Oregon and Indiana. Right?
Right.
And the most dominant team in the Big 10, regardless of who they play, is Indiana.
Yeah, no question.
And that's what I'm saying is it's so college football is so weird because you don't play everybody, but those are the same conference. That's the same conference. That's why I say I probably had. Now I know it's not going to be that way. I'll be shocked if Indiana is 5 like you had them or 6. I think you had them 6.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if they were that high. But you look at it, man. SMU. They're sitting at 12 in AP. 13 in AP poll. Well, they're right now trending to be playing for the championship, right? So this is a crazy college year, and I love it, man. I absolutely love it. I hate that that Alabama is having an off season, but I love the fact that Alabama had a new coach, had a midseason drop, but still have a chance to play themselves into the playoffs. Where do you have Alabama? Where did you say you had Alabama? 11. So, and I think that's about right. I think Alabama is one of the teams that won't move very much in the rankings. Here's the crazy part. If Georgia beats Tennessee, where do you put Tennessee? In front of Alabama or behind them?
You probably have to put them. It's tough because they did beat Alabama, but Alabama at that point would have a better resume than Tennessee if they would have a win over Georgia and LSU. Tennessee's best win is Alabama. I don't even know what their second best win would be. So I would have to put Alabama above them at that point. And then you're going to get to the whole conversation of, well, you put Bama in, you got to put Tennessee in because they beat Alabama. So it's going to be a conundrum at that point. But if we're looking at this both at 10-2 at the end of the line, Bama would have a better resume than Tennessee if they lost that.
Okay, now watch this. Texas A&M wins out.
Yeah, they would have to go with. And with 2 losses, well, that Texas win would mean a lot, I would think. Texas, in my opinion, is overrated, but by the rankings, that would be a win that would solidify them as a playoff team.
Would they jump Bama? Would they jump Bama? See, that's what I'm saying.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
Based on what?
The win over Texas. It would be. I think it would be based on the win over Texas.
We beat Georgia, who beat Texas.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think Texas is overrated. That's why I have them lower down in my ranking because Texas hasn't beaten anybody. So, I'm trying to put myself in the position of what has the committee done historically and what I think they would do in that situation.
Kennedy, that's the crazy part because if Texas wins out, they would be 10-2. Tennessee would be 10-2. Georgia would be 10-1, the only clear winner. A&M and Alabama would be 10-2 if all these teams went out, except for Texas losing the last game. You'd have Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Alabama all at 10-2 with wins. Texas would be the only one that didn't beat anybody out of that crew. But Tennessee would have lost to Georgia, but we beat Georgia. Texas A&M would have lost to South Carolina, who beat.
Huh? I was like, and Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame. So they're pulling for Notre Dame and LSU, right? And we beat South Carolina. So who knows? It's going to be fun to watch. We'll be back on the other side to get Kenneth Smith III comments, thoughts, and reactions to Alabama versus LSU, and his thoughts on Bama versus UNC Asheville to kick off the football season.
Go inside the Alabama Crimson Tide with the Gary Harris Show.
Hey, everybody. Coming up Monday morning at 9 a.m. on the Gary Harris Show. The weekend is in the rearview mirror. We're looking ahead to Alabama and LSU. Rodney Orr from TiderInsider.com and Tider Insider TV will join us. Also, Casey Smith on golf. Your phone calls as we get ready for the big one in the Bayou. That's the Gary Harris Show, Monday morning at 9 a.m.
Catch the Gary Harris Show Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on Tide 100.9 and Tide100.9.com.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. It is double trouble if you're traveling on 2059 right now. We got a major accident on the northeast lanes. Actually, two separate accidents. First, you got one just before University Boulevard and then another one right here at Keynes Mill Road. And these have both got traffic bumper to bumper tight. We've also got heavy staff.
Want to earn some quick cash? Plato's Closet in West Ashley and North Charleston are stocking up on cute and cozy fall styles. We pay you on the spot for your gently used name brand clothes and accessories. Plus, while you're here, you can stock up on must-have looks for fall. We're the go-to sustainable shopping spot for teens and young adults. So stop by Plato's Closet today and refresh your wardrobe. Plato's Closet, located in West Ashley on Sam Rittenberg Boulevard and North Charleston on Rivers Avenue.
800-240-8157. 800-240-8157. That's 800-240-8157.
Visit the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at midtown.com. TJ and his team are looking for the opportunity to provide you with great services, including compounding, home delivery, and a whole lot more. You're looking for a great pharmacy that'll take care of all of your needs, including wellness classes, including health, and more. That's the pharmacy at Midtown. Call them at
You can shop online at TuscaloosaCDJR.com. At Tuscaloosa Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, you pick it out and we'll work it out. Roll Tide.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. We want to thank you for being with us, and we have Kenneth Smith III. Kenneth, one quick fly in the ointment. Vanderbilt wins out. Are they in?
It will be close, but I don't know if I can say that right now. I don't know if there's going to be any 3-loss teams in the field, honestly. So that would be.
They would have beat.
That was close one though.
Hey, they would have beaten at least two teams that's in the playoffs if they went out. At least two, well, Alabama and LSU and took Tennessee. I mean Texas to almost overtime. So wow, crazy. Hey, what's your thoughts on this weekend game, Alabama versus LSU, and your score?
Yeah, I like Alabama in the game. I trust Alabama's defense more than LSU's defense. I think both offenses are going to be able to get theirs, but kind of similar to last year, it's going to come down to which defense do I trust to get consecutive stops. I trust them a little bit more, so I got them winning the game 27-21. As far as their total yardage, I'll probably go 398, somewhere around there, just shy of 400. But I think a balanced attack will get it done.
All right, awesome. What else do you have from a game to look for in this, from a look at this game perspective?
Yeah, I think looking at the pass rushing thing, everybody talking about LSU's great tackles that they have on the offensive line, Emory Jones, Will Campbell, about how Garrett Nussmeier hasn't been touched or pressured very much. What's Alabama's pass rush going to do in this game? Looking at the Tim Keenans, the L.T. Overton, Tim Smith, Hugh Robinson, Quay Russaw, how is Kane Warman going to be able to dial up pressure on Garrett Nussmeier to throw him off of his mark? If it's comfortable back there, guys like Kyrie Lacey are going to get off in the secondary. So how are they going to be able to affect Garrett Nussmeier in this game is something that I'm going to be watching for closely.
I totally agree with that. we're going to have to make them uncomfortable like Texas A&M did. On the reverse side, who do you think is going to be the leading rusher? Does Alabama go back to the QB run, or do they lean in on what we were picking up momentum on against Mizzou with the running backs?
Yeah, I think there's going to be more QB runs because I think Bill Wilson is going to be fresher than he was a couple of weeks ago. But I think I'll go Jam Miller as the leading rusher. I think it's going to be kind of one of those games where it's like Jam, Jalen, and Justice all kind of have their moments where it's like, it might be like 76 yards, 60 yards, 45 yards, something like that at the end of the game. But I like Jam Miller to break a few long runs and end up as the leading rusher.
Any thoughts on the basketball game, and tell the listeners where they can find you?
Yeah, obviously I like Bama to win tonight. It'll be interesting to see Wrightsville, Nelson, and Ada Sherrill are ministry assistants coming off the bench. So different lineups I think will be fun. You can find me on Twitter /X at SkinnyKenny_ and theathletic.com or theathletic wherever you get your mobile apps. Searching my name, Kennington Smith, or anything related to Alabama athletics.
All right. Hey, that's Kennington Smith III. He joins us every Monday morning. Great stuff. Follow him at SkinnyKenny_ on the X and the Athletic, Kennington Smith III. You can find it there. Remember this: trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Roll Tide. We'll keep the conversation rolling right here on tomorrow as we hope to add X back in, and we'll add DC Capstone Report to the conversation. Roll Tide out to everybody. We'll break down more of Alabama and LSU and the college football playoff first official ranking. Roll Tide.